And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the 5 best tips when you're first starting off in Warzone 2. That being said, let's get straight into it. To start off with, my number 1 tip that I feel like goes for any game, not just Warzone, is making sure you have the right settings. So I'm going to show you guys a couple little settings that you should change, and I'm going to explain why, of how this can make your game feel more fluid and help you as a player. To start off with, you are going to go under your controller settings. I'm a controller player, but there is also this setting on keyboard and mouse, and you're going to go at the bottom of the controller tab. If you guys remember playing Warzone 1, you would usually press square or tap square to use things, to open crates, to close doors, things like that. But for some reason, the default setting this year was on tap to reload, which means you'd be holding to open chests, holding to pick up things, and it was just honestly a pain. So I play on tap to interact, which means as you are playing on controller, I have a Scuff controller, link down below, JoeWo Scuff. You can actually press square one time, and that will open up chests and close doors and interact. That means that I have to hold square to reload, but I feel like that there's way more times that I am interacting with crates and things like that than I am reloading, and that's what the same settings I used to play on in Warzone 1, which really helped me. The next setting that is very important is making sure that your armor plate behavior is on apply all. Again, the default setting is going to be apply 1, so there is many times at the beginning when I would actually be playing and I would think that I would only have to hold triangle one time to plate, and it would only put on one plate, and then I would go into a fight and not know that I'm missing 1 or 2 plates if I have on a satchel. The last setting I'm going to touch on for my console players now who also got FOV. Let's get it. My console players finally got FOV, and obviously PC had it, but this is going to be your field of view option. Now, me personally, I like to play on 120 FOV, which is going to be the max FOV, so you can see your map, the enemies that you're fighting, and really have a good range of sight as you're playing. Now, if this is kind of too wide for you, I would say 105. 110 is honestly perfect. The one thing that's going to be very important that a lot of people also did not change is making sure you turn your first person camera movement to 50%. I believe the default is at 100%. Yep, default's at 100. 50% means as you're running around fighting things like that, your screen isn't unnecessarily shaking, which is the default option. The next thing is the weapon field of view. With this option, weapon field of view, you can actually make your gun even smaller on your screen, which means you're going to be actually seeing even more of the map and the things in front of you. So I have mine on wide, but long term, again, like I said, it's going to help you guys out a lot because you're going to be able to see much more of your game, much more of the map. And obviously when people are in tight corners or you're kind of running around a corner, sometimes your gun would be too big and could be blocking your sight. So make sure to change this to wide. For Warzone tip number 2, I'm going to be showing you guys the best place to land and the best contract to grab right now. If you guys haven't really played Warzone yet, they have really nerfed money very hard. So my number 1 place to land is there's a little building beside the high rise in Al Mazrah City. In Al Mazrah City, there's the high rise map, and then beside that building is a little like bank type building on the right. This bank building is my favorite place to land because you can go in there. Now, mind you, it is getting more of a known spot, so there could be a couple players there. As you'll see, I fought one person in the clip, but overall, if you are looking to get your loadout to res teammates or to just have a really good early game start, this is the place to land. You can go in here, open up the cash registers that are on the 3 different shelves, and also just get the money from the shelves, and you can leave sometimes with $15,000 or more. In the clip here, you'll see I left with $16,000, but there isn't a time that I don't leave that building with under $8,000. The reason that this is so important is if you guys don't know, you actually will get a loadout later in the game and around on zone 3, but you can actually buy your favorite primary from buy stations. So that means it is $5,000 to buy a primary, and then it's gonna be $4,000 to res your teammates. By the end of this video, if you guys learned something, it would be much appreciated if you guys would like to subscribe down below. It helps the channel a lot. Now getting straight into tip number 3, and this is gonna be the best contract to grab. So as you guys know, in Warzone 1, we had scavengers, which means you could grab a scav and open up chests, which at the last chest you would get actually a satchel, and then you would get money for completing the contract. And this year for Warzone 2, it's actually called Safe Cracker. Safe Cracker. Safe Crackers. Saltines. Let's call them saltines. saltines. With this contract, it is basically Warzone 2's version of a scav. What you do is it's going to give me 3 locations for safe, hence why it's called safe cracker, which means you're going to put a bomb on this little safe and it's going to blow up and drop you money, UAVs, chests, and things like that. You guys are going to see that this is going to be the best contract to grab to make sure you are getting money that you can buy loadouts with or buy your primary loadout with, teammates back, UAVs, etc. Most of the time, the safes actually spawn a little bit farther from each other than the scavs did, but in this one you guys will see they actually spawn right beside each other, which was really nice for me. I would definitely advise, if you are going to do this contract off the rip, I would grab a helicopter or a vehicle or something like that to make sure that you can get from safe to safe to safe pretty quickly. With tip number 4 here, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use the loadout system effectively. As you guys know, in Warzone 1 we had, obviously you could buy a loadout or we would get free loadouts relatively early in the game. In Warzone 2 that is completely different. Now if you guys don't know, you can actually do contracts, get money, and buy one weapon from a buy station. So that means you can buy your primary weapon or your favorite weapon from a buy for $5,000. Now later in the game, zone 3 or maybe 4 or 5, depends on kind of that game, you get a loadout crate. The most effective way that I have found, which I'm gonna be showing you guys today, you're gonna be buying your primary gun from a buy station and then waiting until that free loadout drops in zone 3 to get that and your second AR or second SMG. What you're gonna do is have a preset class. As you can see, I like to run the Scar and the Lockman sub as an SMG, but you can run anything, to be honest. If you'd like to snipe, this would be the perfect opportunity to grab a sniper, but you can have a amped sub or an amped sniper. So you can go over to the Warden preset perk package and you can get double time, strong arm, and the most important for me is fast hands. So fast hands will actually get you a reload, use equipment, and swap weapons faster perk, which is crucial for Warzone 2. The reason that I say that is because the time to kill is very, very fast. And if you guys haven't tried to swap weapons with an AR or an SMG, or especially a sniper and an AR, it is very, very slow. And that time where you're trying to swap weapons, if you're caught off guard or things like that, can get you killed time and time again. The big thing that I would do is make sure you buy your primary for $5,000 and then have a Warden perk package preset with the gun that you would like to use from the loadout crate that drops as your first slot. And that's how you work the loadout system. For my 5th and last tip of Warzone 2, it's more of a subjective tip, but this is gonna be playing for gunfights. Now, I know a lot of people like to play for wins, kind of play for certain things, which I get that, but those wins will come if you learn how to fight. I've had so many people that I've kind of been coaching, teaching the game, and they always ask how they can improve. And my number 1 tip is never, ever, ever worry about your stats, about your KD and things like that, but get into as many engagements as possible. I have a lot of people always say that they can never really get that win because they've been camping the whole game and then they'll have to fight a team and they automatically lose. If you never learn how to fight, it doesn't matter how long you camp until the end of the game. Eventually, you're going to have to fight somebody. And if you never learn how, you're never going to get those wins because most likely the teams at the very end of the game are going to be the best players in the lobby. So you getting into as many engagements and gunfights as possible, you'll learn the map, you'll learn rotations, you'll learn the best way to fight for you personally, and those wins will come later if you just learn how to fight. Now, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below, guys, what was your favorite tips and tricks or how you have been improving and liking Warzone 2. Throughout this game, I will obviously be dropping a ton of tips and tricks contents for you guys. So if you guys have any specific ideas for me, let me know down below and I will try to post those videos. Thank you guys again so much for clicking on the video today. If you guys are new here and would like to subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.